Welcome to Kalahari. We are back to the 2025 PA Truck Driving Championships, sponsored by PMTA and the media sponsor CNS. We are here to do the 2-day, 3 different kind of competition, professional driving competition here at Kalahari. We're going to be doing the written exam. We're going to be doing a pre-trip inspection course, finding the faults, finding the issues, and then lastly on Saturday for 4+ hours live streaming the entire driving competition, driving obstacle course that these guys are going to be doing. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're here at Kalahari. We got the water slides in the back, and we're going to be having a lot of fun. So let's enjoy and let's reel on our drivers out there. Go drivers! During the 2-day competition, we're going to be doing driver interviews, volunteer interviews, and of course the company interviews. And we're here with none other than Bob Dolan. He's last year doing, well, maybe not Bob, that better not be Bob, but Bob somewhere around here. This competition isn't all games. These are professional drivers that have spent hours practicing, not only researching and diving into questions for the big driver test that they're going to be doing, the safety test, also doing pre-trip inspections that the professional drivers do every day, but on a hard course, making sure they find every little issue. And lastly, the obstacle course. It is a serious competition. 9 drivers are going to be crowned. One of them is going to be the grand champion, and they're going to go off to nationals. So we just got to wish them best of luck. As you can see, we got the water slides behind us. Family fun event. Oh yeah, I have a family right here, and we are going to be having fun. Stay tuned. We're going to be live streaming both in the morning tomorrow on Friday for the podcast for an hour, and then 4 hours during the driving competition. So like, subscribe, come join us online, and of course, stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the podcast Caution Wide Right, brought to you by Compliance Navigation Specialists. I'm Luke, your host, and as you can tell, we have a special live podcast coming from Kalahari Resorts. And yes, is that the water park at the mountains here in Pennsylvania? Yes, it is, but we're not here just to have fun. We are here for the 188 drivers competing for 9 chances to be a winner and, of course, the ultimate grand champion. We're here at the 2025 PA Truck Driving Championships. Man, it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing today. We're going to be showing off some of these drivers. We're going to check out the pre-trip inspections that they're going to be doing, but we're going to just do quickly a rundown of what this event is and why drivers and companies should join. And of course, I do have Anthony with me. We have Anthony and Cami here joining us on the podcast again, but here now live. Maybe we'll even have Rebecca come over and wave her down. Nah, she's focused right now. But we're here. So the Truck Driving Championships, if you're not aware, it's a 2-day competition. It is split up into 3 parts of a competition. We have our driver safety test, a written exam that covers safety information, information about the Truck Driving Championship, and so much more. And if you can just sort of tell, 188 drivers in a room, very, very quiet, scribbling on an answer sheet, trying to get the best score as possible. They study for this. There's a book that comes out each year that they can study. And it's just a fun part 1 of the test. Part 2 is the pre-trip inspection, where they go around the truck and try to find various hidden issues, violations, whatever it is, and they're going to get scored along the way. And then lastly, tomorrow we're going to be doing the live stream for 4+ hours of the driving competition, an obstacle course where they're going to be doing maneuvers where it's backing as close as possible to a gate, or maybe going around a corner and trying to get as close as possible to the corner that they're going around instead of staying far away from it. So these guys are competing. It's a real competition, real intensity here, and we're just going to be having a lot of fun. But what do you guys think? It's officially here.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is.
What do you think of the atmosphere so far?
Well, it's exciting. registration started at 8, but there was a line of people down here at 6 o'clock. And there was no coffee, so that's a miss on their part. My apologies to everyone who suffered through that first hour or so with no coffee. I feel your pain right here. But no, it's great. Mark Laura Savage from Great West did the opening remarks, and he asked all of the rookies to raise their hand, and there was a tremendous number of hands for first-time competitors, and that in itself is fantastic. So, you got your old hands, the folks that have been doing it for a long time and really knocking it out of the park. Well, we've got some young blood in the building, and I'm hoping they can stand up and deliver too. So, yesterday was a long day. It started out really early before the sun rose, long drive, got up here, and I wish we had a time lapse set up just to see all of the equipment rolling in, all of the meeting of the minds and the mindless, and sometimes in the parking lots and decisions being made. And, we were out setting the defects on the pre-trip course, and they were out setting up the field obstacles on the driving course. And it was a long day. I've got so much sun. I'm just radiating heat off of my head right now, but we're having a blast. And today, I think the weather's supposed to be pretty nice today. Tomorrow is suspect a little
chance
bit.
of rain. We'll see.
But hey, these drivers, it's rain or shine. They don't care. Guys like me, we care, but these folks are tough.
Yeah,
and they don't care. So it's awesome. And I'm super pumped to be here and glad we could do everything we could to make this successful. But the folks you see out here are the ones that are going to deliver, figuratively and literally, as it were. So we're happy to be here, and hope everyone has a great time.
Well, this is my first TDC.
Yeah.
Like I said last week, I've been with PMTA for about a month and a half. And this is awesome. It's super lively. So many people here. I met a lot of people. They love what they do. They're great at what they do. They're super serious about it. Yeah. I'm really excited for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because today it's they're going to be hidden off in rooms doing different things. They're going to be moved around in different groups. And it's sort of that weird, nervous day one atmosphere, but day two, man, like when they're out on the course, and again, they have their cell phones taken away, and can't
even their watches.
Yep.
If they see a camera on those AI smart glasses.
Yeah.
Super serious. No joke here.
And the driving competition, they're going to do a 10-minute walking the course for the driving competition. You can't pace the course. You can't, some of these guys practice these different courses, different setups, and they might have a trick or two that they try to have in their back pocket to see what they can do to improve or whatever. But these guys, there's eyes watching them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's no do-overs. There's no second chances on this course. So, you're walking it at ground level, and then you're going to be sitting up in the truck at that different heights, trying to, make sure you're gauging your turns and your backing, and it's going to be great. What was really awesome to see was all of the different color shirts from the different teams that were here in the morning, and just commingling together in different places. But it's one big family when it comes to this type of event. So you see people that haven't seen each other since this event, speaking up. So it's awesome. So it's a great family atmosphere. To count, it's thing to say. To get from here to my ring, it's probably a quarter mile. This place is massive. If you've never been here, I encourage you to come in. It's fantastic. Bring the kids. The community that's here itself is a solution. If you're in the area, this is certainly a sentiment. So, I'm going to get into the first night. It's not a chance to enjoy it. It's business from Sunday to Sunday. So, we've got our PMTA store set up over here. We're selling things from years past, hats from years past, shirts, shows them. Thanks again to the volunteers. This really was so we're chopping up the too. So I think this is going to be a huge success, and we'll see who comes out on top. Yeah, so it's going to be.
It takes a year long to prep for this. All year, different committees, different groups that are organizing 200 volunteers or so helping out with this whole process, day of, before the event, behind the scenes, people that we won't see. And of course, we're here. We also want to thank the sponsors to be able to put on an event like this to help, with some of the costs that are involved. You got food, education, so much involved with the equipment and things like that. So we want to thank the sponsors. We have FedEx Corp, of course, being the title sponsor for the 2025 PO Truck Driving Championships. You got UPS, Walmart, DHL, HRE, Fall Zones, AD Pile, Cummins, Hess Auctioneers, Hauser's Truck Service, Day & Nash, Sheets, Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission, GCS, Old Dominion, the Northwest chapter of PMTA, Fleet chapter of PMTA, Napa Transport. I might have said Grocery Haulers already. Yard Truck Specialist, CNS. We have a media sponsor too for the event, being able to do the fun live streams, bringing you not only today, we're just going to talk about the event a little bit, the atmosphere here. So we're going to get a lot of just interviews, company interviews, interviews with other guests, and we're going to try to find get a drive around in the course in a semi truck, so you guys actually can get a feel of what it's like from the driver's perspective. We're going to have that hopefully edited up and for the live stream tomorrow. So tomorrow, 4 hours of content plus streaming the competitors. The rookies on companies on 9 different types of classes. So you got like the sleeper boost, you got, multiple axles, etc., etc. So there's 9 different classes that we're competing in. A winner for each of those classes, and finally the grand champion. I do want to mention the competition here is real, and past champions, recent champions, you got Terry Wood with Walmart, Brian Kroll from 2024 with Martin Bauer. He's always here, always competes well. I believe he won his division, his class last year, but not grand champion back-to-back. Instead, it was Michael Light that was champion last year. So Brian Kroll for 2023. Michael Light from FedEx Freight for 2023 champion. Anyway, all 10 of them go off to the national truck driving competition in August this year. So we're going to be having all of that coming in the next few hours. Again, so the real thing about this is why do this? Why do a truck driving competition? PMTA, CNS, our mindset's all about safety. The trucking community, the trucking industry, hyper-focused on safety. And all of these drivers, even just to qualify to be able to be here in front and be able to compete, they have to have 1 year of accident-free, preventable accident-free driving from the last competition to this competition. And so that in itself, I hear the drivers that have competed in the past, volunteers that have competed for decades, they would just say, it just made me a better, it made me focused on thinking about, as I'm driving, being safe, because I want to come back here for this competition and compete and win and move on. So it's all about safety, but we want to talk a little bit about that? I like more outside. Yeah, we got volunteer check-ins. We got driver check-ins happening right here. Of course, this is live, so we have other people talking. He's shouting on that. So this is Matt Savage from Big West. He's our former TDC chairman, a tremendous asset resource to all of our military members. And when I first met Matt years ago, when I was a member of PMTA with my training, it was up in the mission transport, and he walks this guy. What's he doing here too? Like, he's just with another cane. He's actually with the best capability. So he's, heads up the preacher committee this year. So we were out there yesterday. He's got his truck, his families here. Tools of going back to safety and what you want to do with this. I mean, the real question is, wouldn't you want to? Once you've seen it, wouldn't you want to do this? But it's fantastic. But, being a truck driver is a solitary existence. So, you're in the truck by yourself, hours and hours on end, sometimes, 70 hours a week. And this, getting an opportunity like this to come and showcase your skills in front of your peers, in front of your supervisors and your coworkers or whatever carrier you're working for, is just a fantastic opportunity to grow the community and to really show anyone who wants to see exactly what skills it takes to get this job done. So, it's fantastic. And just to see
the laughing and the smiles. And these are fierce competitors. They are fierce competitors. We're friends in the lobby here, but out in front, so I was going to be elderly yesterday and saw someone in Frank's shirt, and I was you competing? They're like, I'm not competing, but we're here reading on FedEx. And is there anyone specific you're rooting for? I'm just a Pennsylvania FedEx company, or just one of them. It's a serious competition. Yeah, and they take it very serious too. Stories and mentioning, but in preparation for the event, one of the guys is moving around some equipment and advanced to trailer into another piece of equipment. One saw it, one supervisor, and he came and said, "Hey, listen," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And like, basically, I just had an accident in the no one saw it, and this guy's, just a level of professionalism. He just came forward and said, "Listen, this is what happened. I don't feel right about competing because I don't need the standard anymore."
Yep.
And those are the types of folks that we have here today. Yes. And they are a good cross-section and representation of the entire industry, but I feel like all of the folks that don't get to come here and compete should not be forgotten either. So there are folks today that were up before the sun, firing up the trucks, doing the pre-trips, getting out on the road, and making the delivery so these folks can do this here. So thanks to all of those people. It's a thankless job, a hard job, and it's rain or shine, just like this competition. So, I can't say enough about what these folks do and the sacrifices they make. We've talked about it before, but I will mention it every opportunity I get. It's the way we do business in the United States would cease to exist without folks like this.
For sure.
Getting goods from shore to shore, and without them, we would grind to a halt. So, thanks to all of them. Anyone that's listening, thank you very much.
Yes, if you're a driver, thank you. If you're a family of a driver, thank you. It's a tough job on both sides. I will say, I've heard some stories before you were a trucker. You were in the military?
No. No. I went to military school.
Military school. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Who did you hear that from?
Well,
someone's getting fired.
I was telling him about the essay that you wrote, and then I
was like, "You're just made to be."
Yeah, I do have a face made for radio, if that's what you're getting at. Yeah, 100%.
Perfect for camera, man.
Tell them the story.
No, so I was, I think I was a junior in high school, and I went to a Rotary Youth Leadership camp out. I don't know what you call it, conference. So we were there for a week in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I wrote a speech. There was a speech writing contest. So I ended up winning at a national level for that speech as a high school senior. And the award for that was a trip to Bill Clinton's inauguration. So as my first plane flight ever out of Roswell, New Mexico into DFW and on to Washington, D.C. to see the big city, So It was awesome. We had fantastic seats, got to tour DC, which was a huge deal for a small town kid like me. But no, it's great, and I think I might have peaked a little too early. It's kind of been downhill since then, but thanks for reminding me.
Sorry.
Well, but I do want to mention the stories that all these drivers, everybody here has stories of where they came from, and the experiences that they have is immense. And I want to stress for just drivers out there, if you see truckers going down the road and you get so easily just mad if they are cutting you off or you feel offended or anything like that, these are people with stories, with backgrounds, that we just want to, again, be able to celebrate, because you don't know who's behind that wheel. You don't know the things that they're going through on a day-to-day basis. And so we just celebrate truckers in general. That's what this event is for. And I do want to mention these events, we've got almost 30 companies represented, sending drivers to this competition. You could be an owner-operator. You could be a driver. You drive for a company for a year. Anybody is welcome to be able to join this event if you are eligible and can qualify. And then that's why we want to get the message out. This is such a great event to, if you're a driver, if you're, watching this after the fact and you're like, man, I wish I could do that. That looks fun. That looks interesting. Well, prepare for next year, and you can start preparing now. And I want to give you a couple different tips, because obviously right now, why do this? Not only will it, sharpen your driving skills, all these drivers come out of this, they're practicing after hours. Maybe they're setting up some kind of course, which I can explain in a little bit too for you. But it is that sharpening of the skills that you would do daily. Backing in, straight backing. If you're doing parallel parking, other types of things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Again, just perfecting that so there's not any other of those issues that you might see or might face. If there's a difficult location to drop off your trailer and it's hard to get into, you're just again practicing for perfecting that. That's why you're a professional driver, and this is just honing those skills even further. But it'll deepen your knowledge, regulations and safety. There's a ton of DOT and FMCSA rules and regulations. We at CNS, I write articles on these all the time, things that change. Every year there's changes, hours of service, licensing, permitting, drug testing. These drivers have to be safe, healthy on the road, and that's what. Again, you're sharpening those skills for this type of event, and again, you're getting your recognition, you're networking, you're making relationships with peers here, and everybody says when they come back, they're like, we're so excited to see the people that are here at this event. So we strongly recommend joining next year's competition. And there's like 40 states that are doing these truck driving championships. Join your event for your class and practice. Practice means setting up a mini course. If you're a company and you're like, hey, how do I do this? This is a great safety program that you can implement at your company, where you can set up a driving course, see who is your grand champion at your facility. FedEx, Walmart, they all do a competition beforehand. Then those top drivers come and compete here at this event, and then those best drivers go to nationals. So it's that snowball effect of competition, competing against your peers, celebrating with your peers, and you can set up these kind of driving courses. You can get some cones, you can get some, if you got a beat up old car and you just want to set it off to a side and try to get as close as possible to it, backing as close to it, and measuring with, what's a measuring, a long measuring stick? No, it's short. It's like, 18 inches, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Luke, have you ever heard of a thing called YouTube?
Yeah.
Have you? Okay. So if you haven't heard of YouTube, look it up. Thousands of videos on truck driving championships and truck rodeos, as they're referred to sometimes. Yes. But really, from a carrier standpoint, when this event is, when nationals are. But if you can work this into your year, and just kind of build that momentum coming forward, we all go to work and we go through the motions sometimes of what it takes just to get through the workday and get on to the next thing. But having something to look forward to, having something to be a part of, and feeling that, that sense of community really helps make the workday a little bit easier to deal with, And I encourage every carrier, if you have questions about how to get involved, the American Trucking Association has, a fantastic website with some good resources. The PMTA will certainly point you in the right direction. Reach out to your peers. If you're not a member of the Safety Management Council through the PMTA, I strongly encourage you to join yourself or have a representative from your company come and attend those meetings. Tons of information sharing, networking. We have, people that come and present, and it's just a great way to meet your peers, to stay current with things that are going on, and also to have your voice heard. We talked about that a little bit before. So, this is the culmination. This is the most visible piece of it, but there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes, and in so many ways that you can help and be a part of making this even bigger than it is. So, any questions, PMTA.org, any one of us would be able to help you. You can get a hold of Luke if you know him, or any of his folks. They can point you in the right direction. But there's just no better way to celebrate what these folks do. And it's emptying out here, so I'm pretty sure someone's probably looking for me for something. So I better get going.
That's fine.
Yeah, otherwise I won't be invited back next year. But hey, I do want to mention before we go, the America's Road Team will have representatives here.
Yes.
There are members of the Pennsylvania's Road Team here, and also the Wreaths Across America mobile education exhibit is outside, and that is fantastic. So if you are here, poke your head in there, take a look around, and it's just a fantastic tribute to the fallen. So thank you for being here, and I'm sure at some point I'll stop back over, if nothing else, just to take a break. So I'm going to use you as a break from now and again. So
sounds good.
Thanks. We'll see
you around.
All right.
And we can transition to we got some different what is PMTA, what do they do on a daily basis, what does this look like? We have a video that we've recently probably shared. You might have seen it already, but we can show that video to you guys of like what is PMTA. And if you're going to come to this competition and see the scoreboard, it's pmta.org, and you can see TDC /scoreboard. And that's where all the information for this event, where there's going to be some live scoring during the driving competition for tomorrow.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. Before we start, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and bell icon so you're updated on all new videos, and you can fill out the form in the description with any questions. As you probably already know, speeding increases the chances of accidents as well as the severity of injuries and damages. What does that mean for fleets and drivers? Well, what you should be doing is reviewing policies, training drivers, and reinforcing the why behind driving the speed limit. Of course, the most important thing is preventing injuries and saving lives, but violations and accidents also cost companies thousands of dollars, and depending on the circumstances, can even lead to a complete shutdown. With that said, the CVSA is holding its annual Operation Safe Driver Week from July 13th to 19th this year, where law enforcement agencies across the U.S. are stepping up traffic enforcement and driver education to promote safer driving behaviors. Of course, this goes for commercial truck drivers, but also applies to passenger vehicles, and the CVSA is focusing on speeding this year. Now, that's not to say that they won't get you for other things like distracted driving or not wearing a seatbelt, which are high on the list for violations. So just make sure you are doing everything as you should and you'll be fine. Check out the full article in the description for 5 tips on always staying prepared. That's all I've got. Again, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and send any questions using the form link in the description.
Whether you're a company wanting to train employees to obtain their CDL, or an employee of a company that was asked to research your own CDL training, you could take advantage of our company contract training program. We contract with many companies because we are passionate about training qualified drivers, and we believe that there is a better way to train. Most schools will require your employees to be in training for an entire month, 40 hours a week, in large classes with many other trainees. Here at the CNS Driver Training Center, we know that companies cannot afford to lose their employees for that long. We also know that because these other schools run large classes, there is a lot of standing around and watching, which is preventing your employee from getting the quality behind the wheel practice that they need. For these reasons, we have developed the company contract training program that can be tailored for your company and still abide by the ELDT requirements. If you're interested in our company contract training program, you would first talk to a company representative about your needs as a company, which will allow us to tailor a training program to you and your employees' availability and specific needs or skills. You will most likely want to take advantage of our one-on-one training, which just like it sounds, just one employee and one instructor. As required by the FMCSA ELDT rule, this consists of 40 hours of theory training knowledge and approximately 25 hours of behind-the-wheel training, which one of our company representatives will explain in more detail. Completing the theory knowledge can be done at your employee's discretion online or through classroom sessions. As soon as the theory knowledge is complete, your employee will move to one-on-one behind-the-wheel training. This usually consists of 7 to 8 training sessions, which last 4 to 5 hours each. We find that most trainees can complete our program in as little as a few weeks, depending on training availability. Once your employee shows their proficiency and passes all requirements, they will be able to take the test in the same truck that they trained in with one of our certified third-party examiners. Our program can be tailored to your specifications from equipment to time frames. If you are interested in group training, we can accommodate that as well. Give us a call at 717-496-9145 or stop by the office at 151 Kosher Road in Lititz, Pennsylvania to get started.
All right. Well, as you can tell, it has quieted down a bit. The drivers have moved on to another location, and they're going to be doing the whole just sort of the overview of the day. They're going to be doing, a walkthrough of the course. They're going to go check out different parts of this event and sort of being told what the process is moving forward. So this is the second half of the hour of our podcast where we're going to just talk about the different news, different things that's happening. You just saw a clip where we were talking about Operation Safe Driver Week. That's coming up in July. These CVSA safety events, they come every year. They're every year at the same time, so we know when they're happening, but it's always good to prepare for it because you don't want to have like Brake Safety Week, having those violations that pop up that could be, you should be driving a vehicle that's compliant and good and ready to go, but there's always those people that, have violations and things that during these events. So we just want to make sure that everything is you're aware as much as possible to be able to follow. What are these events and when are they happening? We want to mention that we at CNS, I write 100+ articles every year talking about the different, news, regulation changes, and these things. So you can always come to cnsprotects.com/news, our blog. You can follow us. Go to our website and follow our newsletter, sign up for our newsletter. We send a monthly email that comes out. We have these videos. We're here on YouTube and on Facebook, on the PMTA Facebook page right now, streaming. But you can go to our YouTube page, CNS Companies, and find us. And we have tons of videos. You see Matt there. You got myself. We've got Ryan Berardi and others that pop up and talking about all different types of things and what we're doing and what's happening in the industry. So we want you to go find those information. Go check that out. One of the information that I do want to mention, there are a lot of things happening as we wait for FMCSA's big plans. The big plans are sort of being pushed down the road. So you got like the speed limiter rules and you got, other big changes that they say that they want to make. Well, those are being delayed. It's a new administration with the Trump administration right now. And so a lot of this stuff's being delayed. We don't have a head DOT person at the moment, or even an active, I think, deputy or acting deputy right now. We're just sort of waiting for FMCSA to sort of figure out what they're going to do. And so there's been these sort of minor tweaks of different things. But right now, the big thing in the trucking industry is the English language proficiency for truck drivers. Truck drivers are already required to be able to, read signs and speak English where it's a comfortable way for DOT inspectors to be able to, understand at roadside. And it's always sort of been something that's been, not strictly like enforced or like, a violation that is being, hurting your safety scores or anything like that. But now it's a big push for this to happen with the new administration. And so there's a lot of, quality drivers that are out there that from the trucking community is an expansive, depth of different types of people that are behind the wheel of a vehicle and, looking for career advancement and having a good job and a good career. But this is just one of those things where it's being able to follow the rules of the regulations, making sure companies have your policies in place to be able to follow these rules and making sure that the company and your drivers are staying compliant, because we just at roadside it makes sense. You want them to be able to clearly communicate. We got the electronic logging devices being able to communicate hey, here's where my hours are, here's where I'm going and where I'm coming from, what I'm hauling, things like that. So we just want to make sure companies are in place, have these things in place. The executive order is so again, it's rescinding the weak enforcement guidance and making it a lot more serious. It's enhanced the out of service criteria. So I believe as the beginning of this month, it is an out of service issue. FMCSA ordered it to revise it. So drivers violating English proficiency rules can be replaced immediately out of service. So reviewing CDL issuance as well. The secretary has to audit state processes for issuing non-domicile CDLs to ensure only properly qualified drivers are licensed. And then it's improving driver conditions. It's asking for that broad regulatory, administrative, and enforcement actions to protect American truck drivers' working conditions. So just making sure everybody's staying safe out there on the roads. And this is just sort of one piece of that. The thing that's coming beyond this is the states also adding the violations and the fines on top of that. So you have Arkansas, I believe Wyoming, and a couple other states recently announced that if this is a violation, it's $500. If it's multiple violations, it's $1,000. Some states, they're going as high as $3,000 for these violations. There's like Wyoming, in the last couple of years, they were sort of keeping track of this to some degree, and there was reported about 410 inspections citing non-English proficiency violations in a year time frame. And so you can sort of see that this is going to affect just in one state, but all the different states, especially border states and other things like that. It's going to be affecting thousands of drivers on the roads today. So we want to just let you guys know that that is happening. What's next? DOT is expected to issue new guidance expanding this enforcement. How are they going to do this? Are they going to do it with a roadside inspection? What is the it's a two-part test, I believe. Yeah, two-step enforcement process that they're going to be doing. And so let's talk about this process. So the two-step process that enforcement's going to have at roadside. If a driver appears to be able to understand or respond appropriately, the officer will proceed with a formal English proficiency assessment. So the normal inspection in English, I can't really understand you. That's step one. That's, I'm not really able to understand you. So now it's going to go into step two, and it's a driver interview. Inspectors will ask the driver to respond to official questions in English without the use, no interpreters, no cue cards or I speak cards, translations apps or other services. It cannot be used in this driver interview with the DOT officer. If the driver cannot respond sufficiently, they will be cited for ELP violation. If they fail the interview, the second step is skipped. But if they pass that part of the interview, then it's the highway sign recognition. Again, this is something that should already have been understood for being able to receive your CDL, understanding the signs. But the inspector will assess the understanding of U.S. traffic signs, including electronic message signs, based on the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices, MUTCD. So if you are a company with drivers that need to just maybe check out this information and being able to be prepared and understand that initial reaction with a DOT inspector, go to those sites, understand what those signs are, just to be able to practice those, put those into your policies as needed, and be able to follow these rules and regulations, because the enforcement is coming beginning June 2025. So from right now, it's 2 weeks away. CVSA will include the violations as the out of service criteria. So they said it's going to happen. It's going to be kicking in just a couple weeks, and being immediately placed out of service is a big, financial hit. The goods aren't moving, and then someone else has to be able to pick up those the load and continue moving it forward. So it's just a headache. It's a big headache, and we want to make sure everybody's prepared. So the big deadline is June 25th for the out of service enforcement of English language proficiency. So that's the news there. I believe we have another video breaking it down with Matt talking about this as well. So let's look over at that.
This isn't a new rule. Let's be clear. The federal requirement that commercial truck drivers must be proficient in English has been on the books for 90 years, dating back to July 1937. But now, it's being taken seriously. President Trump's new executive order is directing the DOT and FMCSA to strictly enforce English language standards for commercial drivers within the next 60 days. How will they do this is still being discussed, but this means new consequences for drivers and fleets, fines, out-of-service orders, and increased inspection pressure. And this is a big issue. Before this executive order, the Wyoming Highway Patrol alone reported 410 inspections, citing non-English proficiency violations between October 2023 and September 2024. It's just a year time frame. However, due to federal guidelines in place at the time, these violations did not result in suspensions. Now, the pressure is trickling down to the states. Arkansas has already passed a law fining drivers who can't read, write, or speak English clearly, from $500 to $1,000 for repeat offenses. Other states are moving fast to follow. But here's the thing. This rule has always been about safety, reading road signs, talking to dispatch, and responding to officials during roadside inspections. But now it's about perception, too. Because whether or not a driver speaks English is now in the hands of the inspector. And here's the gray area. Will that inspector understand your driver's accent, even if they do speak English? That's the part no one wants to talk about. Enforcement is now subjective, and the burden falls to the driver to impress the officer during a high-pressure moment. So what should fleets do? Here's what you need to know to prepare. First, audit your current drivers. If English is a struggle as a first language, start documenting training or testing now. Second, update your hiring practice to include verified English proficiency screening. And third, educate your team about what inspectors may look for. Basic conversation skills, reading signs, explaining ELD and logbooks, and answering questions clearly. At CNS Companies, we already conduct English proficiency testing, and we have partners to help teach the English language first. Again, DOT hasn't made it clear how they'll expand enforcement, but the clock is ticking. If you have questions or need help preparing, call us at 888-260-9448 or email at info@cnsprotects.com. Because the rule isn't new, but the consequences are. And as always, stay safe out there.
Well, there you have it. That was actually me, not Matt, talking about this again, but that is fine. We're going to flip the script to talking about something that's, I will say exciting, though, albeit it's been something that's been going on for multiple years now, third time's the charm, but what is the Truck Driver Incentive Act? If you haven't heard this, the Congress is trying to pass an incentive for drivers to get a refundable, like $10,000 in refundable tax credit if the bill passes. Now, they've, again, tried multiple times. We can only hope that something like this happens because we want, again, celebrate the community of truckers. But recently introduced, it's the Strengthening Supply Chains Through Truck Driver Incentive Act, offers significant financial benefits for new CDL drivers, registered trucking apprentices, and current truck drivers as well. So we're going to sort of break this down, but the bill proposes a refundable tax credit of up to $10,000 for new drivers and apprentices, as well as up to $7,500 for current CDL holders. So who meets these requirements? So new CDL holders, of course, we want new drivers continually to come in. Got a lot of driver churn in this industry, so we want to continue making sure we get the younger generation in and excited for the trucking industry. If you're new to the trucking industry or enrolled in a registered apprenticeship program, you may qualify for a refundable tax credit if this bill passes of up to $10,000. To receive full credit, drivers must log at least 1,420 hours of driving in a year. And if a new driver faces fewer hours but maintains an average of 40 hours per week, which is pretty likely, upon starting, then they can receive a partial credit of the Incentive Act. So That's again, if the bill passes for new drivers. For current CDL holders, when this bill, or if this bill passes, existing drivers with a Class A CDL who drive at least 1,900 hours per year qualify for that $7,500 refundable tax credit. This incentive is designed to retain the experienced drivers and improve supply chain stability. So keeping our good drivers on the road, just another incentive program. Now, I don't know if they're doing this partly with the the Doge improving efficiency, finding ways that they save money, and they can say, yes, this program is going to be paid for and funded, supporting the trucking industry. So I hope that's sort of the mentality here, where this can get passed through Congress. The Republicans hold the House and Senate, so if they, the big beautiful bill that's trying to be passed right now, and other incentives that are being happening right now, this is the moment that we're trying to hope that something like this can happen. So stay tuned. We'll follow more of this information as it moves through. It might be a while, but again, the 2025-2026 tax credit year, if this bill passes. So that's coming. Hopefully, if it's something where if you're new to wanting to get into the trucking industry, now might be the time to do so, where you might be able to take advantage of some extra money being kicked your way. If you're new to or wanting to join the trucking industry, we highly recommend going to a CDL school where there's a lot of ways to train. You can do a company can pay for you, pay for your schooling, and usually you're required then to work for them for a year or two, whatever that agreement is. But they'll pay for your CDL school. So you can do company training. We work with companies with our CDL truck CNS Driver Training Center. This is our CDL school in Lidditz, Pennsylvania. We have drivers that come out from all over the East Coast to come to our school, because it's also a one-on-one training. We don't do group training where there's 5-6 people in a truck, one person's driving and getting the experience. The other people are in the back getting experience, but they're just watching. And so we do one-on-one CDL school training, and it is a fantastic experience. We get, again, you can do the 40 hours or the theory knowledge ahead of time. We do it online, so you can do that after, if you're currently working, you can do it at night. You can, tackle that training, that studying as fast or as slow as you need to go for that training. And once you pass that theory knowledge and you need those 40 hours behind the wheel, we get you in and we get it focused. It can be done as quickly as a week or two for that portion of the driving portion. Pass your CDL test on site at our location here in Lidditz, Pennsylvania. And it's just a perfect way to be able to transition into a career in trucking, hopefully with this incentive act coming in, helping kick back the company that you're working for, getting you some extra money along the way. But if you want to learn more about our CDL school, you can go to cnstrains.com and learn about it. You can also email us at support@cnstrains.com if you have any questions about it. But that is our CDL school. But we also, we have a lot of people that have military background, whether you're in the military, active duty right now and looking to retire, what's that transition going to look like? Or maybe you've already served and whether it's, you got military, you've got the reserves, you got others, and it's been years, but now there's new things happening with the GI Bill, and they help pay for your CDL school. And so what does that process look like? Our CDL school, CNS Driver Training Center, is approved for VA benefits for GI Bill. And so we want to be able to help you with this transition. If you are a military background and you're looking for that, we can help with that process. Reach out to us. There's been changes to the GI Bill where they added some extra months on. So you may be eligible for up to 48 hours of educational benefits through the GI Bill. Previously, it was 36 months, and so they added an additional 12 months of benefits. For veterans, the VA is automatically reviewing claims. For those who apply the deadline is October 1st, 2030. So you got time if you want to use those extra months of training, and have the GI Bill pay for that. It's available for the next, until the end of the decade, until 2030. So this is a fantastic thing that's happening, and we just want to be able to turn you to that. You can reach out to us, 717-496-9145, or email us at support@cnstrains.com. If we can't answer the question with the VA and the GI Bill, we will pass you on to actual representatives from the VA for Veterans Affairs to be able to answer those questions and make sure that we can get this done. If you're using your GI Bill at our CDL school, you can you go online and use us. You can let Veterans Affairs know, hey, I want to go to this school, and what do I need to do? And they will help you with that process too on that end. So we want to be able to tackle this in all different ways. We want to get qualified professional drivers on the road, and our school is one way to do this. And then you can come to an event like this where you want to hone in your skills and practice your skills. It's a fun event here. We are wrapping up on our 1 hour podcast, guys. So this event here at Kalahari is coming fast. We have our 4 hour live streams. The next few hours after we're done here recording, we are going to be jumping around. We're going to be getting more recordings of, again, drivers, companies, people actually competing, doing the pre-trip inspections. We're going to do, the course, and hopefully just get a lot of this stuff for you to be able to see what happens here at this event. And join us for the 4 hour live stream. You can check it out on the PMTA Facebook page, streaming live there as well. And of course, our YouTube channel, CNS Company's YouTube channel. Just type that into YouTube and you'll be able to find us. We will have that live stream going. Be sure to like, subscribe, share this with people, let people know about this event, because we just want to celebrate drivers. Again, I have the 188 drivers here. If you're friends, families with any one of them, be sure to, again, like them, tag them, share this, and let the family be able to know and celebrate. Because you can see here rookie, and veteran drivers, and we want to get them as much celebration as possible for this event. So thank you for tuning in to our podcast, and as always, stay safe out there.